Good evening, students. Thank you for joining me online tonight. I wanted to take this time to review some of the things we've been talking about in class the last few days. Again, this is all pertaining to our supplementary unit of study on the national parks. And again, this is a review of what we've talked about. Please be paying attention to the type of information provided here. You're going to be asked to create a Prezi presentation based on this same information, but specific to your national park. All right. So first, how old is the national park system? The National Park Service was created in 1916. However, there were definitely some national parks, national monuments, memorials put in place before this. However, the National Park Service itself is simply a workforce of people to take care of and control and regulate the 84 million acres that make up our national parks. All right. So 1916 was when the National Park Service came about. How do the parks operate? The Department of the Interior is in charge of basically all of the land in the United States. That's what the National Park Service is characterized under. They also work in coordination with other departments that are under the Department of Interior. For example, the National Forest Service, Fish and Game Commission, those sorts of things. There are 22,000 employees in the parks. Those are regular full-time employees as well as part-time and seasonal employees. And they rely heavily on 221,000 volunteers. And those people are working on a budget of $2.98 billion. Now that sounds like a lot of money for a budget, but when you look at the visitors and think about how much they had to pay for entrance fees, campground fees, wilderness permits, guided tours, lots of different things like that, you can see that the national parks usually turn a profit. Um, the visitors last year in 2012, there were 279 million visitors. So that's a lot of people visiting these places. What makes a place a national park? This is the list I gave you the first day of the unit. You can choose from any of these, any site that's characterized under these. Again, national parks like Yellowstone or Yosemite or the Grand Tetons, or a national battlefield like Gettysburg or Antietam, um, or a national memorial like the Lincoln Memorial. So again, all of these things are all operated by the National Park Service. Okay, they take care of all these different places. So some general visitor information. I'm asking you to tell me what every person should know before they visit your park. If you're going to do hiking, what kind of clothing should you wear? Is it what time of year is the best time to come and visit? I took this picture when I was hiking in the Grand Canyon in I believe it was July, and it was 110 degrees. So obviously you might need some water, some sun protection. Um, Tell me about what you might need for things to do in your park. Also give me some general information about park entrance fees, the hours of operation, um, lodging options within the park. Does your park offer a hotel or a campground? How much do those cost? Um, Also, some specific laws to your site. Are you allowed to go off-roading there? Um, if it's a national memorial like the Lincoln Memorial, are you allowed to ride your bike or your skateboard up and down the steps? Um, what are some specific laws to your site? Um, and moving on, we're going to say interesting facts. Again, I mentioned that there are 398 sites that fall under the umbrella of the National Park Service. Um, and the concessionaires are the people who provide hotels or basically lodging and food within the parks. Anywhere you go that might have a hotel or a restaurant, that is not operated by the National Park Service. That's operated by a private business that has a contract with the National Park Service. So they take care of all the food and lodging, and that is completely separate from the National Park Service. I'm going to use my pointer here. We talked about the arrowhead. the bison here and the sequoia tree on the national park emblem, they represent wildlife in the national parks, um, vegetation and wildlife, and the value of that in our national parks. Um, Next, we have the mountain and the water, and these represent the value of natural resources and wilderness and their recreational use in the parks. And then the arrowhead itself, the whole shape of the emblem, represents the historical and archaeological value that is found within the parks. So again, tonight and in the days to come, as we continue this unit of study, learn as much as you can about your park. Tell me about the history of it. Who were the important people? What events led to the creation of a park? What was the date that it was um, enacted as a park? Um, Show me some pictures. We already did our Glogster of some of the sites that people come to see. Um, Again, show me some things like that. Um, this is the website for the National Park Service. This is a general statistics website where I found a lot of the information on the Park Service as a whole for this presentation. Um, you can go here and search internally for your park and find pretty much all the information you need to complete your Prezi. So again, I'll take any questions tomorrow. If you have any trouble, I'll be there to help you along the way. Thank you for listening, and good luck on your Prezis.